Have you ever found yourself swiping on your phone, swiping, wondering if the next swipe could be your soulmate? Or have you heard stories from friends saying that they met their partner on a dating app? Well, today's topic is going to be very intriguing to you, and I have a little secret. I met my husband on an online dating app. Stay tuned. This is Matters of the Heart. My name is Yewande Olusola. Let's get into it. Whether you're a hopeful romantic or a curious skeptic or a seasoned swiper, online dating has become a significant part of our modern love stories. But for those just starting out, the world of online dating can feel maybe exciting, maybe overwhelming, or even a bit intimidating. For someone like me, it was a total culture shock. It was definitely out of my culture zone and definitely also out of my comfort zone. So today, let's explore the pros and cons you should consider if you're new to this digital landscape. My promise to you, by the end of this episode, you'll feel a little more prepared or a little less alone on your journey. But first, let me start with my own personal story. When I first got introduced to online dating a few years ago by one of my work colleagues, I was very hesitant, but at the same time curious about online dating. After some encouragement from my colleague, we went on a website and I quickly crafted a very simple profile of myself, and I waited. Within a few minutes, I saw lots of potential matches. I was shocked because my mindset was that this was not something that black people got involved in. Still, I was curious enough to sign up for just maybe a month just to see how it was going to go. Even the challenge of trying to carve out a proper profile for myself was a daunting process. Was it fairy tale? Well, not exactly, but it was real, absolutely real. And I eventually did meet my husband on this dating website. So that's the bright side of the story. Let's start with a little more positive things that we can say about online dating. The bright side, shall we say, of online dating. Online dating opens up doors to people who you might never meet in your daily life. In a city as busy as where I'm based right now, which is London, or anywhere else in the world, it could be Lagos, it could be Abuja, it could be New York, it could be Los Angeles. Routines can become so fixed that meeting new people feels impossible. Online platforms breaks down these barriers. Suddenly, we're connecting with people from different backgrounds, professions and interests. Isn't it amazing how technology can expand our universe? Also, there's a certain comfort in browsing profiles from your sofa, maybe in your nightie or your pajamas, coffee in one hand, or maybe you're drinking your favorite, wine, or you're drinking your palm wine, and then you're finding yourself just flashing through, looking at different profiles. You control the pace. If you need to take a break, you simply just log off. Then there's clarity of intention. Many dating apps allow you to specify what you're looking for, whether it's a serious relationship, whether it's friendship or something more casual. This clarity can help you filter out mismatched expectations from the start. Of course, not everyone is honest, but having this framework is already a step ahead of most real life encounters. And that clarity of intention is something that you develop, because when you start out in dating, you might not be sure what exactly you're looking for. And for those also who feel shy or out of practice, online dating can be a safe space to build confidence, especially those that have been looking for a long time, waiting, trusting God, believing for someone to cross their paths, and it hasn't happened, and you feel like you lack experience. you wouldn't know what to do. Online dating might be a very safe space to start. You can start by crafting messages, going on virtual dates, and expressing your interests can help you refine what you're looking for or who you're becoming in the process. But of course, this takes some level of intentionality. So the fact that you're seeing different profiles also encourages you to build up your own profile. Examine what you're good at. I know when I was online, it helped me to think deeper about the sorts of interests that I had. And I remember when I was carving out my profile, choosing pictures very carefully that I wanted to use to represent my journey at this time of my life. And that time I was about 39 years old. I was about 40, maybe 41, between 39 and 41. This was nothing short of out of my comfort zone because I'd never done anything like that before, and I hadn't been dating for 14 years because I was married for 14 years and I had just been going through a divorce. In fact, I just divorced. So it was all very new to me. I'd been separated for 6 years before the divorce. So let's talk about the challenges, because being prepared is part of protecting your heart. Online dating can sometimes feel like shopping for people. With so many profiles, it's easy to judge based on a few photos or some very sort of well-crafted biography. This can lead to a snap decision and sometimes missing out on meaningful connections. Have you ever wondered if you've swiped past someone incredible just because their photo wasn't perfect? I remember when I met my husband online, he only had one photo. I had like 6, 7, 8 photos. I showed myself doing some of my hobbies. I showed myself on holiday. He had one photo, and that photo was him by a cash point machine. So I could have easily missed him thinking, what's he doing in front of a cash point? But I persevered because of what he wrote in his profile about himself. So the rule is try to look beyond the superficiality of photos. Look closely into the profile of what the person is saying about themselves. There's also misrepresentation. Let's face it, some people aren't actually entirely honest online. Maybe it's a misleading photo, or maybe their intentions aren't what they claim. I remember very clearly the story of someone I know who fell in love with this photograph of someone that said that they were from a particular place, somewhere in South Africa to be precise, and they were drop dead gorgeous, according to this friend. But in reality, that profile was a fake profile. It was somebody pretending to be who they were not. In fact, it wasn't a picture of a lady that my friend, who was a male friend, thought she was. It was actually a man that was ready to scam. Fortunately for this friend, he spoke to me about it, and we eventually got to the bottom of this scam. This person, who was pretending to be a South African, was actually based in another African country, and eventually we found not even her out, it was a him. So this is part of the potential problem of online misrepresentation. Then there's the problem of people disconnecting or ghosting you. One of the most common complaints I hear is about ghosting, when someone suddenly stops communicating without explanation. It can feel confusing or hurtful, especially when you've invested time and hope that this was the relationship. And sometimes you could be invested for 3 months. There are some things that is suggested on online dating that you should do to protect you from being ghosted. The first one is stay online within the app or within the website for as long as possible. Much communication can happen within that actual platform before ever thinking of meeting the person. So remember, sometimes silence speaks more than the other person than about you. So don't be upset if they suddenly ghost you or disconnect from you, because maybe you're getting closer to knowing that they're not who they say they are. Then there's safety concerns. Meeting strangers always comes with risks. While most people are genuine, it's crucial to prioritize your safety. Always make sure that you check the information that has been given online. Also, check the guidelines of the particular dating app or the website, dating online website. They will give you guidelines, and many of the guidelines will include: don't give your real number to the person that you are speaking to, and it could be several people that you're speaking to. Don't give your number out. Stay within the confines of the website or the app until you're confident that they are real. I remember even with my husband, some of the information he gave about his work and so on, I did my little research to check it out to make sure what he said was real. And it's very, very much like anything. You do your research. I even included adding some of my friends to my profile. I gave them password to my profile to make sure that they can go in and check the people that I'm interested in, to check them out to see if they were for real. Because sometimes your trusted friends will be able to give a perspective that you might be missing out. They might be able to see beyond what there is to see. They might be able to bring in different thoughts that you've not considered. In fact, it was so funny that one of my friends that was married at the time, I'd given her my password to go and have a look in my profile. And her husband called me and said, I don't know what's going on with your friend, but I see her in the evenings looking on dating websites. I don't know what's going on with her. You need to talk to her. And I was so chuckled by it, because I had to apologize on her behalf, because I said to the husband, she's actually looking on my behalf. So you can rest assured that she's not trying to break up with you. So whatever you think about the safety aspect, the guidelines, they're given for a good reason. And when you do decide to meet in person, it's crucial to meet in public places. Let someone know where you're going and trust your instincts. No potential connection is worth compromising your well-being. So, a few reflective moments. Have you ever questioned what you're truly searching for when you open that app? Is it companionship? Is it validation? Is it adventure? Or simply curiosity? I think everyone who's thinking about dating should consider online dating, because there's so much potential there. Although I appreciate, like any other way, there's lots of fakery there as well. How do you feel when you're matched with someone? It's excitement, anxiety, or perhaps a mix of both. At its best, online dating can be a bridge to meaningful connection, but it can also be a mirror reflecting our insecurities and hopes back to us. Are you ready to see yourself through that lens? And more importantly, are you ready to show up as your authentic self? Flaws, quirks, and all of that. So, if you're considering dipping your toes into the world of online dating, here are some practical steps to guide you. Number 1, define your intentions. Before you even download an app or go on a dating website, take a quiet moment to reflect. What am I hoping to find? Clarity here can save you time and headache later. Put it down in the chat if you've ever considered online dating, and if so, what has been your fears about it? Put it in the chat. Be yourself is the second thing I'll say. Craft an honest profile. Be yourself. Share photos that truly reflect who you are, and write a biography that feels authentic. The right person will appreciate your honesty, and you'll attract connections aligned with your true self. Now, I'm not saying that you should, put your most private photos, just something that reflects who you are. If you like sports, put some of you doing sports. If you, talk about your hobbies, make sure you have photographs that reflect it. The kind of work you do, the kind of person you're looking for, the kind of things that deal breakers for you. For some people, it would be, there are all sorts of people go online for all sorts of reasons. So for me, one of my deal breakers was, I didn't want someone who was looking for friends with benefit. And some of you may or may not understand that, but it actually means some people are going online just to find bedfellows. They're not interested in a serious relationship, they're looking for bedfellows. So make sure that you put down what your deal breakers are. Also, pace yourself. That's another thing. Pace yourself. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement and possibilities. But remember, there's no rush. There's no rush at all. Take breaks when you need to, and don't feel pressured to respond instantly or meet up before you're ready. It's better to take your time and use the platform, the app or the website where you can talk. It's a little bit like, having a long distance relationship. First of all, establish what you both want before you ever meet. And if they're too much in a hurry, then maybe they're not the right person for you. Use this opportunity to iron out any concerns that you might have about the process, and hopefully you'll meet someone equally willing to engage in that process with you. Fourthly, prioritize safety. Always meet new people in public places once you've decided to meet, and let somebody know your plans. It's more important, even if possible, take a friend on the first date. It's more important to be safe than to be sorry. Remember, not every interaction will lead to love, and that's okay. Every experience, even the awkward or disappointing ones, teaches us something about ourselves and what we need. And this is really important. Do not take the rejection or the fact that you're not feeling the chemistry once you've met as a negative thing, because the way you present one another online will be quite different to the reality of meeting in the flesh. The idea is to feel safe enough to meet in person. I remember when I met my now husband, then boyfriend, or shall we say online friends to start with. I remember the first time we met, I didn't feel anything. I didn't say, he didn't sweep me off my feet, but I didn't have any negative feelings. So the relationship was able to develop because there was no strong feelings either way. But we knew that at least there was a relationship that could be built upon. I remember even asking my friend when she asked me, how was the date? Which I needed help with, by the way, to choose what restaurant to go to and where to go. And this is where having a few people who know about you being on a dating website is really helpful, because you can run things by them, and they can add very useful context to make sure that you have that element of safety and that you don't get taken advantage of. So my friend was very helpful in making sure that I was realistic about my expectations and I didn't do anything that I would regret. I remember also speaking to someone about dozens of awkward first dates and even more unanswered messages was ready to give up. One day she decided to take a break and focus on herself. And that's helpful too. The person who introduced me to the online dating was somebody that was getting married to the person that she met. But she told me about many that she had dates that she had had before that didn't work out. So sometimes the best connections can happen when you're not desperately searching, but simply living your life fully and authentically. So stepping into the world of online dating, remember, it's just one tool, one path amongst many to finding a connection. Approach it with curiosity, but also with self-respect and clear boundaries. Embrace the adventure, but remain anchored in your own worth. Ask yourself, what kind of love am I inviting into my life? And how can I be the kind of person I hope to meet? Let your journey, both online and offline, be guided by genuine quality characteristics like kindness, patience, and authenticity. Remember, depending on what you're hoping to achieve, because some people are going online to just make friends. Some are going online to look for their soulmate. Some are going online for bedfellows, for so many reasons. But I would definitely say make sure that your profile reflects what you're looking for, and you can be very clear about it. I'm looking for XYZ, because there'll be other people who are equally looking for what you're looking for. Also, I would suggest go for the apps that you have to pay something towards it. The free ones sometimes can be very, very discouraging because there's nothing invested in the people. Not people who are going on it have not invested anything in it. They've just set up an app. Make sure you do your research, look around, and just try it. What have you got to lose? When I went online, I was out of my culture zone, I was out of my comfort zone, and I never thought I would find anyone. Statistically, there are more people meeting online than offline. And this is just because of the changes in the way society is now. And it's just a place to find different kinds of people. Like I've always said, there's no shortage of people. It's just a matter of finding them. And online can be a good way to do that initial search where you can just connect with a few people. Could be in the same country that you currently live in. You can specify which country you want them to come from. It could be from any other country. You decide, and that's what the beauty of it is. Imagine if you were a shift worker, you hardly had time for going out. Where would you meet people? And you work at night. Your shift work allows you to sleep in the day and you're working at night. So it's quite a good way of meeting people. And the final thing I'd like to say is just give it a go. Drop your comments down about whether or not you've had experiences of online dating. We'll be talking about different ways of meeting people. Online is statistically now one of the fastest growing ways that people meet people. In terms of those that marry, I think the statistics show that about 10% of people who meet online actually end up marrying. So it's a low percentage. Maybe you can say it's low, but then don't forget, not everyone's looking for marriage online. So you need to be able to put it in perspective and make it just one of the many tools of looking for people and a place where you can practice dating. At least going on different dates, you'll learn the etiquettes of how to know what you are into. You know, it's an opportunity to actually, shall I say, practice what it is that you like or you don't like. So, thank you for sharing this moment with me on Matters of the Heart. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please share your own online dating stories and lessons that you've learned in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, every swipe, every message, every connection is an opportunity, not just to find love, but to discover more about yourself. So, until next time, keep your heart open, your mind curious, and never forget that you're worthy of love online, offline, and everywhere else. So remember, online dating is not for everyone, but it's certainly worth giving it a try. Come out of your comfort zone. If you want to have something different, you have to be prepared to do something different. You cannot be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So take care, and I'll see you on my next episode. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening.